Swarunis Radhanaswamy Maharaj, you emphasized on a leader genuinely taking pleasure in seeing the success
Or the
of,
subordinate.
the subordinates, and also empowering them, assisting them, not using them as assistants. So even Prabhupada also writes in the Rudra Gita purports, 4th canto, 24th chapter, Krishna gives more credit to his devotees than he takes for himself. That's why he's also called Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. He's physically beautiful, but his heart is beautiful. The
Yes.
beauty of his heart is he gives more credit to his devotees.
Yeah.
So this is wonderful principle that a leader has to uphold in empowering the subordinates.
Yeah.
But sometimes there is a need to give corrections also.
Correct.
So in such situations, how do we balance between humility and the need to correct people, give them feedbacks?
Yeah.
So, and there we may have to identify the faults in them and rectify those faults. How do we maintain that mode of humility while doing this service?
Yeah.
So can you please throw
Oh,
some
that's
light on
very,
it?
very important topic. And that is one area I learnt a lot from Maharaj because when I was posted as the president in Pune and I had to deal with brahmacharis, boys and congregations, and inevitably problems will come. You know, Prabhupada says we are recruiting people from amongst the conditioned souls. So when they become devotees, it's not that, you can recruit only pure devotees. Everybody who comes in, they come with multiple problems and they are going to cause problems and we have to correct them. So Maharaj is very clear cut universal laws, principles on correction. How do we correct? Well, I'll say a few things that I learned from him.
Yes.
So Maharaj was telling once when I met him personally, he was telling, see Suniti, see Suruchi, both of them dealt with only the same person, Dhruva. But one brought out the best, other one brought out the worst, he said. So Suruchi, when in her dealing with Dhruva, she made him cry, she made his lips quiver, her body tremble like a snake snapped upon by boots. So the very worst behavior came out of Dhruva. In fact, his whole body became like poisoned by envy. On the contrary, Suniti, pacified the boy and directed him to Narada and Vishnu. And again, the boy had tears, cold tears of love for God. Lips were quivering to chant the shlokas. Body was trembling in Ashtasatvika Vikar. So this mother brought out the pure devotee out of Dhruva. So one is bringing pure devotee out of Dhruva, another one bringing the worst behavior out of Dhruva. So Maharaj is telling, so don't blame your subordinates, he was telling. It is the leader who brings the best out of people. Leader can do that. Like for example, a leader can take a simple pot and put some flowers in it and then paint it very beautifully. And then it can be kept on the table like a flower vase, So it's leader who can give qualification to the people by bringing the best out of them, about everybody. So his point was that we have to correct in such a way that you uplift people, don't push people down. So I asked Maharaj, should we chastise them or should we, pamper them? Because if we pamper, they become very casual. Lalane Bahava Dosha. If you chastise, then they develop fear for us. And when they develop fear for us, they will offer obeisances from a distance and run away. Although they do obeisances out of fear for us, the relationship is strained. They don't see us as well-wishers. They don't see us as someone to whom they can confide. It's likely that they may be even hiding things. Or tomorrow they may even develop animosity also for such leaders who have corrected them. So keeping this in mind, I asked, should we chastise or should we pamper? Maharaj said, you can do either, he said very coolly. So, really? I can do either. I can chastise also, as what he said. But remember, the end result should be, you should uplift them.
Okay.
He said, the end result should be, you should uplift, not push them down. He said. So, for example, there are cases, Vidura chastised Dhritarashtra, but he uplifted him. Chintamani chastised Billamangal, uplifted him. So that those chastisements which are uplifting are welcomeable. And somebody else may pamper somebody, and then the pampering may also bring the best out of them. Sometimes there's a need for not understanding the situation of a person. He's emotionally vulnerable. He's not yet ready. Like once Prabhupada was invited to give a lecture in the Gurukula. And Prabhupada went inside. He thought the teachers are going to come, he thought. And then brought the children. Prabhupada said, lecture for these kids? They said, yes. And then asked for the cookies and he gave them. And if this is enough for them. And they offered obeisance and they went away. So Prabhupada said, these children are very, young to hear any big lecture, he said. So in this way, Prabhupada understood who need to be given what. His grace Burijan Prabhu says that I used to give $200 to Prabhupada every month. And I was a householder. And Prabhupada replied back to me with letter saying that, oh Burijan, I am so grateful to you that you promptly give your donations every month without fail. This kind of eagerness to serve your spiritual master, this will give you a lot of advancement, like that he writes. And then His Holiness Tamaksha Maharaj came and put a check in front of Prabhupada, $20,000. Prabhupada said, that's all? He asked. He said, Prabhupada, we are hoping to get another 10,000 more next month, he said. This is, so Burijan Prabhu compares these two things. I was giving $200 and got appreciation. He is giving $20,000 and getting chastisement because Prabhupada knew whom to deal with how. Like Tamaksha Maharaj working very closely with Prabhupada, and this is sannyasi also. And Prabhupada wanted to sort of scold because his expectation from him was also very high. Because he's a single person, sannyasi, and he has potential, he has capability. So his chastisement is to bring out more out of that person. On the contrary, here is a householder, he has many other duties to do, he is giving a donation. This is all he can do. So he is able to, just like Lord appreciates small or big, and whatever offering comes. Like that Burijan Prabhu writes in his book, My Glorious Master, he writes. So in this way, while correcting also, we should see who needs to be corrected how. So we have to see that because somebody is very intimate in our inside circle, they may be in a position to take correction. I have personal experience also. Those who are very, very close, if you give them an input, they consider us their well-wishers. So they know that Prabhuji is telling me for my own growth. So then we can tell them. The same thing we cannot tell another person who is not in our inside circle. No. So, and then Maharaj was also telling that even if somebody is in inside circle, you cannot take them for granted. You may be thinking that they are my inside circle people. And then you give them a correction, they may become inimical also. So therefore he said that correction is, no living entity likes it. Nobody likes to take a feedback. So Maharaj was telling that whenever you give correction, keep it brief. Like you tell the good things they have done and briefly give a correction. And also tell them that if you make this correction, you will shine in your life. I am telling this to you for your good. Like Krishna also says, Sarva guhyatamam bhuyaha, shrunume paramam vajaha, vishtosi me, dridamiti, idam vakshyami te hitam. I am telling for your benefit and you are very, very dear to me, Arjun. And I am giving you the topmost secret. All that thing he puts before giving Manmana Bhava. Because he wants to tell him that this is what I want you to do. He says like that. So the topic of correcting without hurting, just like we have aluminum vessel, you put your hand inside and then you can hit it like that. But without putting hand, if you hit, it will make a hole in that. Instead of making the metal little flat, it will make a hole in that. In the same manner, when you are correcting, in Hindi we call it apna banakar correction dena chahiye. That means you should tell him that, see, you are very close to me and I consider you this and I consider you my representative. I have so much faith in you that tomorrow, if there is a very big program, I can send you on my behalf and I am fully confident that you can represent me. Therefore, I want to offer you an input. Like that, if I say and tell him, he will say, Prabhu, you can smash me, you can, whatever you want to do with me, you do, I am yours. He will say like that. Oh, because you are giving me that position, that respect. You are actually shaping me to make me a powerful individual tomorrow. Then they are ready to be shaped by you. So this we call as apna banakar sikana. We tell the people. And appreciating them and recognizing the good work done and then giving a correction. That is like, we call it as iron fist with a velvet gloves. Because when you put a velvet gloves, people don't mind so much. Because Prabhuji gave me a correction, but also, he also appreciated me. See, in the beginning, he appreciated me. And also appreciated. In between, he gave correction. I think he likes me. Everybody has this question nowadays. Does he like me or not? Does he like me or hate me? Like me or hate me? Living entity always keeps thinking like this. So, if he is confident that overall we like him, and then we are only giving some correction, people will be able to take. So, one thing I have seen my spiritual master, he will never give anyone a feeling that I don't like you, or I hate you, or you have done some big blunder or something. He is very, very intelligent in giving people that assurance that you are mine, and I consider you very important. I trust you, and I consider you very important in my program. At the same time, there are some small things that you have to work on, and if you work on that, it's like, for example, I have an apple. It has a black spot. I don't have to throw away the apple. It's like if I throw away the apple, it's like throwing away the baby with the bath water, we say, no? It's like that. You take the apple, take a knife and remove that black portion, then the apple becomes first class. So he will give us that feeling that you are a wonderful devotee and you have a small problem, which is also a removable problem also. Therefore, I am telling you. By saying like this, the devotee feels very happy. Oh, that's it. If I do this, I'll be perfect. I'm ready to do it. On the other hand, if we make a mole into a mountain and say that you have been always like this, and I don't think you're going to change,
Hopeless.
You're hopeless. So then the people become very, guarded, and they say that, oh, you're bringing the worst out of me. Honestly speaking, in my life, I didn't know these principles. So I learned it through the school of hard knocks, as we say, in dealing with the people, in the very early days of my leadership in Pune. Many people, like if somebody commits a mistake, I would think that this mistake has to be thoroughly rectified by teaching them the principle. But over a period of time, my spiritual master taught me to learn this point that living entities cannot be changed completely. Like Krishna says, Nigraha Kim Karishyasi. He says that natures are there, very deep-rooted conditionings they come with. So you can try to help them rectify it by giving them the right guidance. But ultimately, we have to cultivate detachment also. So Maharaj teaches us the correcting is a very delicate matter. So every living entity has their false ego also. So without tampering their false ego, we have to bring about the positive change in them. And that requires compassion, he says. That requires concern. That requires compassion. If you're compassionate for that jiva, if you're concerned for that jiva, then the way you will administer the correction will come out good. And without the compassion and concern, we are in a superiority complex. I think, I know what is right and this fellow doesn't understand, it is a muff. Then with that mood, immediately we spring to action. Try to bring about a correction in them. They will very smoothly slip out. They will not come into our catch.
They will withdraw themselves.
Yeah. This reminds me, there is one story of Emerson. Emerson is a great writer. When he was a small kid, one day he was playing in the farm. And one calf, was frolicking, jumping up and down. At that time, it was drizzling from the sky. So what Emerson did, he went and caught hold of this rope in the neck. And then he was dragging it to come inside because it was raining, it was drizzling.
The calf.
And the calf was like skidding, keeping the legs like this. It was coming, it was not ready to go inside. And he dragged to his best, he couldn't. In fact, calf was successful in dragging to the other side. The lady who works in the farm, she laughed seeing this. She told the child, see, I will tell you the technique how this calf can be taken inside. It's very easy technique, she said. So she gave few fingers in the mouth of the calf here. Calf started licking, and then she took the tail and twisted like this again. Immediately the calf ran inside. Like that, immediately ran inside. So that means, this fellow was trying to drag the calf. That is like, tampering with the ego of the people. And tamper with the ego of the people, the ego gets hurt. They will try to prove to you that they are right and you are wrong. They get into that. Then a lot of hours go in that correction. On the contrary, without tampering with the false ego, if you try to encourage them, appreciate them for what they are, and then then subsequently we see that it comes out well. People are willing to receive.
Thank you, Prabhu. Wonderful explanation on the principles of correction. Very comprehensive, multiple Shastric examples and lessons from Guru Maharaj. Last time
One
50 minutes
very
you
important,
spoke.
I think I forgot in correction. Maharaj says, you should find out whom that person loves. And it will be nice if we can give the correction through that person. Maharaj says that because then it goes very smoothly without much resistance. And sometimes you feel that I don't have the kind of relation that someone else has. Then better I don't make an effort to correct him directly. Because already there is a strain, and then don't strain it further. Instead pass it through someone whom they love, like the he says. That's another thing he thought.
Amazing. Prabhu, we also mentioned about